and welcome to another episode of Worst Collection Ever. This is the show where we tell you about the worst comic book collection in existence, and it just happens to belong to us. I'm Jen.
And I'm Sean.
It's been a rough week.
How are you?
I'm not great. How are you?
Oh, I'm equally...
We've been having...
To quote my buddy Steve Austin, discombobulation.
Discombobulation.
He loves that word. It fascinates me that it's like that's like the word.
That's his go-to.
That's like one of his words. He's like in casual conversation too. He's like yeah, I was working on the show, discombobulation, all that stuff. And I'm like,
does he use it correctly or does it just?
No, he knows how to use words.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just wondering if it's one of those it's a filler word for him now.
Like saying fuck
or gimmick.
Well, gimmick's definitely a filler word. He's got me hooked on doing that.
I've noticed.
I like using gimmick because, I went to the basketball game, which we'll talk about in a second here, but I wanted to go to the merch store, and I was like, oh, let's go to the gimmick store.
Yeah, that's exactly what you said to me, and I was just like...
Because now I can't stop saying it. Because you know what it is? I've been following wrestling for a very long time.
Well, yes.
And I know a lot of wrestlers and all that stuff, but... It just wasn't until recently that, I think it was Andy from Every Time I Die was talking about it when he was on Steve's show, and he was talking about, how Andy always says gimmick. It's just this thing. It's like, and how wrestlers always say gimmick.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like a catch-all, and it's like, oh yeah, that's a thing I could do. So it's like, now I can say.
Yeah, great. It was a conscious decision for you to constantly say the word gimmick.
Well, but maybe not a conscious decision, but I heard that, and then eventually I started doing it.
I know.
And so now it's just like, I can say gimmick, and it's like,
I just find it weird.
But you would be saying, but you still know what I'm talking about. Usually, most of the time.
I get it. Yes, I speak Sean. I think that's the thing.
That was always a fun thing.
Yeah.
Back when I was a kid.
What, saying gimmick?
No, people being do you speak Sean?
I definitely speak Sean.
Well, because I also sometimes I go, people be like, what did Sean say? It's like, oh, he said, that means this.
Yeah.
So
we had a week, and if any of you follow us on Instagram, I'm sure you have seen. We had to put our cat down, Tully.
Yeah, Tully,
the big fluffy guy. Leela is still here. She has made many appearances on this podcast. She likes to squeak into the microphone.
Why is this Tully?
Oh, Tully has also made some.
Tully's done a few run-ins.
But unfortunately, he was sick, and we had to put him down.
Yeah, he was a good cat. We're very sad that he's no longer with us, but he's in a better place. And
some people who listen to the show have sent their condolences to us, and we really appreciate all the messages of support everybody has sent us. I mean, yes, it's just a cat. However, we don't have kids.
Yeah. No, we have kids. And cat's not kids.
Cat's not kids. And Tully, we got basically
shortly into our relationship.
No, we had been together for about a year.
We were together. That's right.
We were together for about a year, but we had moved in together into our first apartment together, and we got him maybe like a week later.
Yeah, it was pretty quick.
He had been basically with us since the time that we moved in together. We had him for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
So, it was definitely hard to say goodbye, but we talked to our vet, and we made the best decision for him.
Yeah,
and that's what's important.
Yeah, then as a cat owner, as a pet owner, those are hard decisions you have to make because they can't tell you what's wrong.
Right.
They can't tell you how they want to be treated in this, or how you should treat them.
Not only that, I mean, they can't tell you I'm in pain, this hurts, that hurts, I don't feel well. They can't talk, so you just kind of have to guess what's going on and take them to the vet, and they don't know why you're taking them, and it's just it's very difficult. But he was a really good cat, but he's in a better place now, and we do appreciate everybody's messages of support.
Well, I will share that the day that we had to put him down, I had a dream, and I have weird dreams.
Yeah, oh yeah, Sean has some weird dreams.
I have weird dreams of usually involving
wrestling.
Usually involving wrestling, and usually involving something that is currently going on in my life, or something that I'm really into, and then it just there's just weird shit going on around it. A lot of times I have dreams about work,
Oh, I cannot even tell you how many times I've woken up in the middle of the night to hear Sean scheduling a podcast appearance.
Yeah, in the sideshow days.
Like, literally talking to somebody about, like, okay, well, we'll get you in on Thursday. And I'm like, is he on the phone? No, he's asleep.
Nope.
He's scheduling podcasts in his sleep.
But I had this dream about him, and we were, for some reason, Jen and I were in LA, and we went to a wrestling event, but we brought the cats. And
As you do.
And totally, in this case, we let them run loose
in a venue somewhere.
The venue, and somebody set up a landslide, like an avalanche, and a bunch of penguins were.
It was a sand dune.
No, but something. It started with a snow avalanche.
Oh,
and it brought all the penguins down to the sand dune.
Oh,
and Tully was out there, and he was chasing the penguins in the sand dune and rolling around in the sand, and he was having a great time.
Yeah.
And that was I believe that was his way of saying, I am having a great time in the afterlife.
Chasing these fucking penguins.
Chasing some penguins and rolling around in sand and just being a general idiot, because that's how you knew me.
Yeah.
And that's who I am. And I am a general idiot of a cat.
Yes.
And, we miss him dearly. So.
We do.
So on to other fun things.
Yeah.
We went to the Nuggets game.
First NBA game for either one of us. I've never been to a basketball game before.
Yeah. And it's funny because we've lived in cities where they have NBA teams.
Yeah. And I just never went. I had a really good time, surprisingly enough. I think maybe because things happen in basketball.
Yeah.
People actually score points.
Yeah.
It's not just like football where, dudes run 2 inches and fall down and then we talk about it for 15 fucking minutes.
That's literally football.
That's literally football. So no, I had a really good time. It was, the Nuggets played the Jazz. The Nuggets won, so that was fun.
Denver Nuggets.
The Denver Nuggets, which Sean has decided is now his team.
That's my team.
Now, why have you decided that they're your team?
Because I feel that as a kid, when I would pay attention to sports,
Sports ball,
because I had a period in like 91, 92, 93 that I just really was into sports.
Mm-hmm.
And paying attention to football and baseball and hockey and and basketball, and just paying attention to the teams and what was going on, and for some reason I just was enamored with the concept of let me put it this way. I am really into logos.
Yes, you are.
I really like logos. I really like team nicknames too.
Okay.
I am a fan of knowing when you play a high school, and because every high school typically has a football team or a team, whatever the sports teams are, and they have a nickname.
The whatevers,
the Bears, the Falcons, the flying
coffee cups,
the Flying Dutchman or whatever, which is the Hofstra Flying Dutchman. That's or whatever.
If I ever had a high school, it'd be like the Flying Depressions. that was me in high school.
The Flying Depressions. It would just be
actually a bunch of kids wearing black, just sitting around.
Your logo would just be a gray cloud.
Yeah, actually.
The logo on the helmet would just be a gray cloud on black, on a black helmet.
You know what? That's fucking fantastic.
And your entire outfit, the entire outfit are just black.
Yes.
Even the numbers are black.
Yeah, that's black on black. They're
black on black.
So the shirts are just black, but it's like a shiny black that are the numbers.
And you don't even the wave uniforms are black. Because you're supposed to have.
They're the same thing.
Maybe it's a lighter shade of black.
No, say black.
Dark shades.
Darker black.
You only work in black and dark shades of gray.
100%.
So, I'm a fan of logos and stuff like that. I just like seeing it, especially when logos change over the years.
Well, yeah, you were so excited.
And one of the logos that is always kind of fascinating because it's very colorful and it stands out as the Denver Nuggets, but from the 80s.
Yeah, the one with the rainbow.
From the years of Alex English and Fat Lever and Dikembe Mutombo.
Yep.
All the big Denver Nuggets names. Yeah, and I was just like, well, first of all, I like that.
Yeah.
But also noticing out here
that nobody gives a fuck about the Nuggets?
Really, they don't.
They really do not.
Like, even your sister cast shade on them today, and we were like, well, apparently they're doing very well this year.
Yeah, well, nobody ever... But that's the thing. Nobody cares. No one has ever cared about the Nuggets. Ever since I was a kid, nobody gave a shit. Now, I mean, that arena was pretty full, so people are obviously going to their games.
Yeah. And the people probably go to the games regularly.
Yes, but here it's kind of like almost... It's weird. It's like an underground thing for an NBA team because... You rarely hear about them on TV. Right. Like, if you're going to hear about something, it's going to be the Broncos. And it's the Broncos 24-7, 365. We're going to talk about the Broncos. Because that's what we fucking do. And then we're going to talk about the Rockies when it's baseball season, and then the Avs when they're doing well. Right. That's it. The Nuggets have never... I don't even know if they've made it to a playoff in the last 10 years.
Oh, I don't know if it's the past 10 years, but I know they definitely have been.
I'm sure they've been in the playoffs, but they've never really done very well in them.
Well, they've never. I mean, I can't recall the Denver Nuggets ever winning an NBA championship.
No, they never have, and they're the only sports team that we have here. Big one. I mean, obviously not our like lacrosse team or soccer team, because yes, we have those too. Yeah. But literally, they're the only ones that we have. No, the Rockies didn't win.
No, the Rockies had.
Oh, they did. Yes, they won.
Yeah, the Rockies have had one.
So the Rockies, they're the only ones that never won. So everybody's like the Broncos, obviously the Avs, because the Broncos are what, 2-time? 2 or 3?
Oh, I feel like it's 3. I mean,
might be 3. Avs are 2. Yeah. Stanley Cup. The Rockies won once. Yeah. So and the fucking Nuggets never did anything. Even like last night, we're watching up on the big screen, and they're like, "This is the best start to the Nuggets since 1976."
That's a long time ago. Fat Lever played for the Nuggets the entire time, and they didn't have as good of a start as they're having right now.
Right now.
But I feel, and as somebody who comes from a city where...
a long-suffering city.
A long-suffering city in terms of sports and sports-related sports.
Yeah, you guys really...
But the thing is that people, like... nationwide know about the Bills and the Sabres because of the fucking hard luck bullshit that we've had to go through. Yeah. So it's kind of nice to know about a team that exists.
That has also had a hard luck.
Because we lived in LA, and obviously you got
the Kings won when we were there.
The Kings won when we were there, but I've always known about you always know about the Kings because Gretzky played for them. And obviously there's the Dodgers,
and
there's the Lakers, and there's the Clippers, which the Clippers were much maligned for years, but they're a better team now. There's a certain, there's a people that really dig them, and that's kind of changed, and then football had the Rams, you had the Raiders and stuff, and then. In Boston, obviously, you have the Celtics, you have the Bruins, you have the Red Sox, you have the Patriots.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, dominant teams, which is great, but those aren't my teams. No. And they never were my teams, especially the Patriots. Fuck the Patriots.
Oh, yeah, fuck the Patriots.
See, the thing that sucks
fuck the Patriots and fuck the Red Sox. I'm sorry.
Hey, you can fuck the Red Sox, yeah.
Man, and I'll tell you what, it's just because...
Congrats to the Red Sox.
Congrats to them. I'm so glad they won. But at the same time... I just could never... It's the same thing because I say fuck the Broncos at the same time. It's this unending obsession with one sports team. Yeah. And I'm like, the Sox aren't playing right now. It's not even baseball season. Yeah. But people are still fucking talking about the Red Sox. And you're like, shut up. And it's the same thing here with the Broncos. Yeah. It's always driven me crazy ever since I was a kid. Fuck the Broncos. Fuck John Elway.
He sold you a car.
Yeah. Sure.
Not John, not personally.
Not personally.
Sadly, he just didn't show up with teeth, just like
Mr. Horseface himself.
We don't buy a car.
Yeah, well, apparently nobody likes Sean Elway anymore. So
isn't he like the GM or something?
Yes, he is, and everybody fucking hates him. And I'm like, my hatred since 1987 has finally been vindicated.
But it's always been like a thing where people.
But really, fuck the Patriots.
Yeah, fuck the Patriots the most.
Oh, 100% the most.
Yeah.
I hope they lose everything, but they won't. They're going to win.
Oh, they won't, because Tom Brady's just going to be like made into a cyborg, and they're going to be
I think he is right now. He's like literally in like some sort of like he's not sensory deprivation chamber, like being pumped full of vitamin A or whatever, and he's just going to keep playing until he literally drops dead on the field.
Well, no, I mean he's because he's like,
that's when Belichick will just roll out a Tom Brady android to continue.
Yeah, they're gonna actually the league's gonna be like, no,
they're gonna clone him. They're cloning him right now.
The android's gonna be like, no, clones are okay. Yeah, they're just gonna come around and be like, he's the clone. Just be like, yeah, it's okay.
It's fine.
He's an android. Yeah,
you know
okay.
what?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Belichick's like, I'm wearing a smock.
He's putting them together.
Yeah.
Like Vincent Price and Edward Scissorhands.
Well, I'm saying he's always wearing a smock, he wears like those baggy.
Oh yeah, he dresses like he's homeless.
Yeah, the hobo coach. Actually, it'd be a great Disney movie, The Hobo Coach, starring true story of Bill Belichick.
Either that or it's something that ends up on FXX, where it's like the same channel as Always Sunny, so it's like a real dark, like The Hobo Coach TV show.
That would be a good show, actually. Mm-hmm. No, they need to be taken seriously. Like fucking, like Matthew McConaughey needs to play him, and he's like, oh god, I need to win an Oscar.
Matthew McConaughey just like wrapped in everything from Joanne's fabric. All right. He's just,
all right, I'm Bill Belichick. Let's go spy that other team. All right.
He's just standing there, like just wrapped in cottons.
Joanne Fabric presents a Disney production of
The Hobo Coach.
The Hobo Coach, starring Matthew McConaughey as Bill Belichick. See, I like this.
This is the best movie.
This is why we didn't make it in Hollywood.
It really is.
Because I'd be out there pitching shit like that. Be like, guys, I got this idea. It's like, get out.
It's like, you know what? Sometimes I gotta entertain myself.
That's pretty much. You know what? I've decided at this point.
But that's what I'm doing.
That's the only way to do it.
That's what you have to. You can't fuck other people.
The only person I care about popping is myself and you.
And you, listener.
and the listeners too. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Hey, fuck you guys. I'm only care about the jokes are only good for Jen. No, obviously, yes. We want to, we're trying to entertain here.
Yeah, we hope you guys.
But sometimes I'll do things just to be like, that's funny to me, or that'd be funny to Jen, or that might be funny to one other person.
That was literally my entire sketch comedy career. This is funny to me,
right? But also too, I'll do like jokes and things for people that like I don't speak to for years, not because we're mad. It's just you just fall out of touch.
Yeah.
But then you'll think of something, you'll see something that's really funny, and or just something that you guys had like an ongoing joke about, or something, or just something that was, that just. Would pop them, and you just do it for them.
Yeah.
But even if they don't even notice, you're like, oh, that person would have liked it. Good job, me. So that's how I approach it. And and everybody else digs it. We dig it. Yeah. And I think that people that listen to this show do dig it.
I hope so.
We certainly appreciate you guys listening. We do the jokes for you.
It's all for you.
All this Denver Nuggets talk. For you.
Welcome to the Denver Nuggets podcast.
You're probably the only one.
Maybe.
Obviously, there's got to be a Denver Nuggets podcast. Probably one guy, has to be. In a mountain somewhere here in Denver.
Inside of a mountain?
Inside of a mountain.
Was he in Cheyenne Mountain? That's the one that opens.
That's where they have a podcast studio.
Oh, well, that's the one that has like...
He has to do it right next to the missile silo.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the actual one that has like the missile silo.
So when Skynet finally launches those missiles, he'd be like, hey, you interrupted my podcast, Skynet.
Yeah, when Trump decides to kill everybody.
Yeah,
like, hey.
It's like, well, guys, it's the last Nuggets podcast. Well, no, actually, no, he'd be safe. He's in that mountain.
He is in that mountain.
Yeah, that's where we need to go. We need to set up a studio.
Well, that's, the one you were looking at. You're like, look at that mountain. That's Cheyenne Mountain.
Was that?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
That's the one you were looking at today.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. There's a podcast studio there.
There's a really, really fortified podcast studio in that mountain.
Oh, man. Get in that one. Just walking in there. Hey, guys, it's a podcast studio.
Hey, guys, can I come in? I got a podcast.
Hi, we're the podcasters from the movie Halloween.
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
Did we talk about that?
We did talk about that.
Yeah, we did talk about that last week. Yeah, we're talking about the movie, but I don't know if we talked about it.
Oh, no, we did. We mentioned the podcasters.
Yeah, stupid podcasters. Podcasting sucks.
Podcasting is stupid. Fuck podcasting. Welcome to the Fuck Blank podcast, where we just talk about things that suck.
Hey, guys, Broncos, podcasting.
Fucking Patriots, Tom Brady.
Yeah, fuck the Patriots. Let's definitely, I know we might have a few Boston area people. I don't know if they're Patriots fans. And if you are, that's cool.
Hey, I'm not saying fuck you. I'm just saying fuck the Patriots.
Yeah, especially fuck Tom Brady.
Fuck Tom Brady. Fuck Bill Belichick.
Fuck Bill Belichick. Fuck those guys. Fuck Bob Kraft.
Who's Bob?
He's the owner.
Oh, he's the owner. Yeah, fuck him.
Yeah, he's a cheese guy. Fuck that guy.
Really, it's only fuck Bill Belichick and fuck Tom Brady. I don't really know. Oh, and Gronk's okay.
Gronk's cool.
He's fine.
Gronk's a bro.
He's a complete dude. Gronk is literally smashing. Whenever
Gronk's
you listen
from
to
Western New York too.
I would just like to say that whenever you listen to this, it does not matter when, Gronk is smashing a beer can on his forehead.
That's the only way he knows how to live.
That's literally, he's just constantly smashing beer cans on his forehead. That's what he does. He's a complete fucking bro. Complete. I'm not saying, but he seems like an alright dude.
Yeah, he's a wrestling fan.
Yeah,
him and Mojo
fine.
Rawley are like best friends.
Oh, really?
That's why. That's how like the one year.
That's right. Wasn't he at WrestleMania?
He had to run WrestleMania. He in the pre Battle Royal he eliminated Jinder Mahal.
Oh,
so Mojo Rawley can win.
Oh, yes.
Or sorry, he helped him with there, but yeah, because Gronk was like ringside and.
That's right. I remember this
being like the bro man. And he's just, yeah. I mean, he's like the most bro.
Oh yeah, he's a super bro.
Some people are just super bros, and it's Matt Riddle, a pro wrestler. He's a super bro.
Yeah. Sometimes you just like achieve bro so hard that you go past it and go to super bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's what's happened here.
Yeah, and that guy plays for the Patriots. Yeah. Fuck the Patriots. Real quick, so before we move on, I wanted to talk about it. We watched Showgirls.
Yeah.
Because it was free with ads on Vudu, and I was like,
I'm like,
I'll bite.
Yeah. Well, I've heard so much about this movie. I've honestly never seen it all the way through.
Well, you've actually seen parts of it.
I've seen parts of it, yes.
I've heard a lot about it.
Yeah. It's Versace.
Yeah. There's a lot. Let me just say this because there's a lot to nitpick about this movie, and there are people that have done this on podcasts much better than we will do. Because this is not the Showgirls / Denver Nuggets podcast
/ Fuck the Patriots podcast.
Yeah, fuck Boston sports teams except for the Bruins. They're okay.
Yeah, the Bruins are fine. Yeah. Celtics are fine.
Celtics are cool. It's a very niche podcast.
It really is.
Man, this turned to such a.
It's taken so many weird turns.
Weird turns. I thought we were talking about comic books.
We don't ever talk.
I'm literally holding a comic book in my hand. I'm like, fuck the Patriots. But so yes, Showgirls. Long. It's actually a really long movie. Elizabeth Berkley. I'll just say this. I didn't really watch Saved by the Bell religiously, but I don't remember her being such a spaz actress.
Yeah,
on that show as she is in this movie.
She had like 2 modes, angry and angrier, and I was like maximum anger to the point where like somebody would be like, "Hey, how are you?" and she'd be like, "Fuck yourself," and like start screaming, like hitting shit, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why are you even acting this way? Yeah. And I don't know if it was her choice or if the director told her to do it.
Probably the director. I feel like
it was fucking wacky.
I feel like that's what she and how she interpreted it, and they were like, all right, because I feel like that was definitely a role.
Take it up to 11 type of thing.
Yeah, and also I feel like that was the kind of role where she auditioned and they were like, okay, we're gonna pull through with this. And
well, it was also supposed to be like, you're not gonna be a child actress anymore. Take off all your clothes, type of shit.
Right, but also too, I feel like they wanted to make that like a bigger, like in terms of like, because I was reading through like Wikipedia.
Yeah.
The truth.
Yeah.
And they were saying like, oh, all these actresses were going to be in this role, and they all denied or whatever. Sure. But yeah, I mean, it's a fuck of a movie.
Yeah.
It's just weird. It's also weird watching it and seeing Kyle MacLachlan do act the way he acts in it, like his character. It's a very sleazy character.
Yeah. And
then like watching him in like Portlandia, where he's just like this doofus of a mayor, which it's hilarious. Mm-hmm. It's just, but it's odd.
Yeah.
And at least to me, because I've never watched Twin Peaks, which everybody be like, oh no, you would understand. It's like, no, I've never watched Twin Peaks. It's just not my bag. But it's a wacky movie. It's really long. There's some turns of it that are just fucking dark.
Yeah, and it's fucking campy as shit too.
It campy, and
because that's like. When I watch, because I watch Drag Race all the time, and like literally that "thanks, it's Versace" line, they say that to each other all the time. Like,
I would imagine that's probably
like, thanks, it's Versace. Like this is my Versace. Like that's it's a reference.
I bet that movie is a part of the drag lexicon.
100%, yeah.
Just like, because of its camp.
Yeah. So like if you're on a runway and RuPaul wearing Versace, and RuPaul says, "I love your dress," your response to her should be, "Thanks, it's Versace," because then she knows that you get your fucking references. and then she'll love you for that. But like, if
That's good. That's good.
I mean, that's the kind of thing that you would need to do on Drag Race.
No, it's very important. You know, that's what that kind of movie did. And I feel like just watching it and like kind of reading about it, it was one of those things where it was like, oh, we wanted. I feel like it was after the fact. They were like, oh, it's a satire. It's like it was like The Room.
Yeah,
you know, where it's like
it's not a satire.
It's like, no, it's a dark comedy. It's like, no, this is just a stupid movie.
Yeah, you guys really believed in this, but I don't understand like how you guys didn't realize what you were doing.
Yeah, and
I mean, Gina Gershon's in it, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, Gina Gershon, like that's kind of her wheelhouse is playing. You know, just these. She does a lot of campy things.
Yeah, super campy, bitchy characters.
Yeah, I like her.
Oh, I do too. Yeah, I'm not saying I don't. I was just saying like you had to know what you were doing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real fucking weird movie.
Yeah, but it was free with ads.
Free with ads. A lot of Sisters of Mercy on the soundtrack. A lot of My Life with a Thrill Kill Cult.
Yeah, a lot of like mid '90s techno
goth music,
which I'm not complaining about.
Oh, neither am I. I was so surprised.
Says the people that are going to see Peter Murphy in April in February.
February, yes. I bought tickets. Peter Murphy is coming, and it is a 40th anniversary of Bauhaus. Mm-hmm. Very excited for it. The minute I saw it, I was like, take my money.
Yeah.
And I bought tickets. So we are going.
Yeah.
To see Peter Murphy. Now, I've seen Peter Murphy before.
See, I'm not like...
But not in a Bauhaus retrospective. He did his solo shit.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah.
Which is also very good.
I'm not as much into the Bauhaus stuff, but I am interested in it. And I have a lot of friends that were into it. So I'm like, okay, I'll bite. You know,
they are the godfathers of goth.
They are definitely one of the cornerstones.
Yes, 100%.
But
they say the first real goth song ever written is Bela Lugosi's Dead.
Yeah.
Because there is and it's a Spotify playlist too, but I think it was Vulture did it. I think it was them. And it was like the history of goth.
Yeah.
And it's like 19 songs that led to goth. And then they say, you know, Bela Lugosi's Dead is the first official goth song. But there's a bunch of other ones in there too.
There's
like before that are like the Stepping Stones too.
I haven't listened to it yet, but the show I listened to, that History of the New Music, Alan Cross, which you should definitely check out.
Which
the ongoing history of new music with Alan Cross,
which is a podcast.
It's a radio show out of Toronto, but he now does it. You know, he still does it on the radio, but now it's also like there are ones that are up as a podcast, and it's fucking awesome.
It's really actually very interesting too.
Well, he does I think probably for the Halloween he did like a goth thing.
Oh shit, I gotta listen to that one.
I think it's because I think I'm actually really looking forward to that because there's a lot of like information. I mean, stuff that's like. You can easily research it, but it's also just the way that he reports it, and then the way that he kind of delves into like the certain parts of it. It's really interesting. So I'm gonna look. That's why I was like, I got to
download that one for sure.
Yeah. So, but that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait.
I'm gonna bring my cheeseburgers, my cold Burger King. I'm gonna mix my Peter Murphy spaz out reference along with my love of We Hate Movies with the cold Burger King. And actually somebody who real quick I want to say, because we as we know former guests Andrew Jupin and Stephen Sadak. Andrew Jupin and Stephen Sadak, former guests of the podcast host of the podcast We Hate Movies.
Yes.
Somebody was like, because somebody went as on their site, somebody went on Twitter, I saw somebody went as the monster from Brain Scan.
Oh, was that in that parade in New York?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, so there's like a big Halloween parade in New York. And
this is just two people at a house.
Okay, so that's a different thing.
Yeah, somebody went as the Brain Scan guy. I forgot what they basically were doing the voice. I forgot what his name was, but the movie from the movie Brain Scan with Edward Furlong, and then they had the guy's girlfriend was an intern, Jeremy.
Oh.
Or maybe it was switched around, but there's a reference in We Hate Movies or whatever about that. But somebody was like, they were like, hey, who else went as us? You know?
Yeah.
And, or one as a reference, and somebody was like, I just walked around with the bags of cold Burger King. Because if you are not informed, the Burger King challenge for We Hate Movies is to
eat 2 Whopper meals?
No, you get 2 Whoppers. You get 2 2 full Whopper meals.
Okay, with the fries and the drink.
Fries and a drink, and you watch No Country for Old Men.
Oh, God.
And then you have to watch King Ralph, and you have to eat both of those things. Because at one point, the cold Burger King, the other sandwich could get cold. So because you can't
eat them at the same time, right? You have to wait.
I mean, I guess I don't know. But you know what? I gotta go back to the rolls. It's very important.
Yeah.
But but definitely a good look. As we always say, we hate movies.
Great podcast.
Yeah, very, very much big good friends with those guys, and we love those guys. So you should check that show out too. Yeah. And Alan Cross's podcast, Ongoing History of Music.
Like I said, it's one of those things that because when Sean and I take a long drive, we'll have the shows that we always have. We have a We Hate Movies. We'll listen to that. We'll listen to Tights and Fights, wrestling podcast. Sometimes I'll pop on My Favorite Murder. But one of those, like, after we've kind of exhausted, like, the go-tos that both of us can agree on is when we usually hit up the ongoing history of new music. And it's always just this, like, interesting, like, weird shit. Like, he did a Kurt Cobain, like, I think one of the ones he did that we listened to recently was Kurt Cobain murdered?
Oh, yeah, that was a 2-parter.
And that was fucking weird because, I mean, the answer is no. He was not murdered. He killed himself. But, but he went in and, like, talked about, like, this conspiracy theory and that conspiracy theory and, like, what happened leading up to Kurt's death and all this stuff that I had totally forgotten.
Yeah.
Because I was a huge Nirvana fan, but he also killed himself in 1994. I was 14 years old. Yeah. And the internet was not
what it is today.
And I didn't even have it. So it wasn't like I could like look up what was going on and stuff. So I didn't even remember him almost dying when he was in Rome. And
I remember that.
I totally forgot all this shit. Actually. And like when he was talking about it, I was like, oh, I totally forgot about all of this. Yeah, so it was interesting to hear it again.
Yeah, there's some interesting stuff. So yeah, definitely recommend that show. There's a lot of good minutia on there. And they're short too. They're like maybe like not even a half hour.
Oh yeah.
So they're
like 25 minutes.
Yeah, because that means the radio shows that are condensed or whatever. Yeah. He basically just cuts out all the commercials.
Yeah, you can't play the whole song of something because he'll be like, "Here is
this," and he'll play at the beginning of it and the end of it.
Yeah, and you can't play the whole thing obviously because you don't have the righs.
Yeah, well, at least in this case, he doesn't. I'm certain the radio station,
right? The radio station, I'm sure can, but the podcast can't.
Yeah,
because he also did the 7 or 5 most popular. B-sides.
Oh yeah, B-sides.
And one of them was the Smiths' How Soon Is Now, which I was like, I didn't even realize that was a fucking B-side.
Well, and also XTC's Dear God.
Yeah, so there was and that was pretty cool too to hear some of that stuff.
So yeah, well, that was podcast reviews / Fuck the Patriots. So let's take our break and we'll come back with our book for this week.
Hey there, welcome to the Mirror Factory. I'm the foreman, Max Romero, so let me tell you a little bit about what we do here. The Mirror Factory is a podcast where we talk about your favorite passages from novels, novellas, and short stories. Each episode features a different guest, who will tell us a little about the book their passage is from and why it means so much to them. Then that guest will give us a special reading of their favorite passage for our listeners. If you think you'd like to be a guest on the Mirror Factory, drop us a line at Factory Mirror on Twitter, the Mirror Factory on Facebook, or at mirrorfactorypodcast@gmail.com. The Mirror Factory is a proud member of the Fire and Water Podcast Network. Time to get back to work. Until next time, read a book.
All right, we're back here on Worst Collection Ever with our book for this week. It is The Vision, number 3 from January 1995. This is coming out of my Avengers Ultron Unbound trade, which basically collects Avengers West Coast numbers 89 through 91 and annual number 8, as well as Vision number 1 through 4. Because there was there was the ongoing that came out fairly recently that was very, very well regarded.
Yeah, I think, was it up for an Eisner Award?
Maybe.
Did it win one?
Yeah,
I don't remember. I feel like it was because I do have the first
trade.
The first trade. I don't remember if I have the second.
Yeah, I think you have it like on your. Do you have it like your Nook or something?
I have both of them. If I have both, it's both electronic.
Right.
And it's very, very. I know I have the first one for sure, and it's very good. Actually, I need to finish it.
Yeah.
The whole run, because it's kind of fascinating the way they went about doing it.
So, but this is from 1995. So this is just farts. And well, not farts, but it's
not complete.
It's at a time when there was some dickery going on with the Avengers, and everything. And, in this particular trade, covers the Ultron business that goes on at the, in the latter issues of the West Coast Avengers or Avengers West Coast. Particularly, it has the Avengers, what is it? The annual number 8, and this is where you get to introduced to this, because back in the 1993 annuals, they were doing new heroes.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So they'd be like, here's a card. Here's this new awesome hero. Get ready, guys. And like, I can't remember. I think there's a few it's kind of like the Bloodlines.
Yeah.
Where they'd be like, yo, check out these new heroes. Get ready, And, but there's a few that made it out of this. And this one in the Avengers West Coast is Raptor. Who's just I'm
going to guess he didn't show up again.
You know what? I should look up and see. I actually didn't look it up.
I see that he has a tail sticking out of the back of his shorts.
He's a bird boy. See, he's a nerdy boy. Basically, what his deal is, he's a nerdy boy that turns into a bird. He's a mutant. That's his mutant power.
All right.
He turns into a bird monster, like a fucking He-Man bird monster.
Okay.
So yeah, but no, we're not reading that one.
No, we are not.
Because we read Avengers West Coast all the time, but we will read The Vision. And on the cover of this issue, it's a 4-issue miniseries, and this is the 3rd issue, where on the cover, Vision is looks like he appears to be phasing out of Hank Pym.
It kind of looks so. Hank Pym is laying. He's Giant Man.
Giant, yeah.
He is laying on the ground.
Just as when Hank Pym
as Giant Man
came back, and he was like wearing that weird. He had he looked like he's got a lot of pouches. He's an inventor, so I will give him credit. He needs to have.
He does need to. Honestly, Hank Pym in this book is if Hulk Hogan had appeared in the 90s, but like if he had started in the 90s, because I could picture instead of Hulk Hogan coming out with his T-shirt and stuff, that if he had been inspired by comic books of the 90s, he would have come out with many pouches.
Oh, he would be pouches, yeah.
He would be nothing but pouches. So that's how I look.
You'll be in those pouches?
Racism?
Oh
my God, I have racism
hey guys,
in here.
I got a joke. Oh God, no.
Hold on, guys. In my pouches, I have them sorted by ethnic slurs. Hold on.
Hang on, guys. I got a Dutch joke in here somewhere.
Where are my Polish jokes? Oh, they're in this pouch.
It's around my thigh. Oh, my ankle joke. All my Danish jokes are on my ankle. No, but Hulk Hogan would have lots of pork in those pouches.
Oh,
he would have one side pork and one side racist jokes. Because fuck Hulk Hogan.
Pulled pork on one side, racist jokes on the other.
Dude, and eventually
this podcast, instead of just worst collection ever, how we always have like Superman killed Green Lantern, it's just be like fuck blank. Because that is what this podcast has turned into.
Yeah, I know that, but yeah, that would. I only literally only be able to put the word letter F. In fact, they could be F star 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 blank. You'd be like, what?
Like, what? What
happened to this show?
Yeah, well,
that's what I ask myself a lot. Anyways, so yeah,
nothing ever happened to this show. This is how it's always been.
I guess, yeah, you're right. Sometimes I think though, I'll listen back to like I'll look at old shows and just listen back a little bit, and I'll be like, oh, okay, and then here we are. I mean, Hulk Hogan did block me on Twitter during the course of our run here on podcasting, and it did change my life.
It really did. And honestly, if I were you, I would change your Twitter profile just to read "blocked by Hulk Hogan." That's what I would say.
Yeah, I know. Well, how people know I'm a podcast producer?
Podcast producer / blocked by Hulk Hogan.
Oh, genius! Let's do it.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I have a question for you. $6 Million Man TV show.
Okay.
Episode where he fights a Bigfoot.
Yeah, it's played by Andre the Giant.
Thank you. Okay. The only reason I asked that question is because, listening to My Favorite Murder, George's husband Vince is the host of
We Watch Wrestling, yes.
We Watch Wrestling. He's a humongous wrestling
He's a big
fan.
mark, yeah.
So they were talking about that episode because they found like a dead body on a $6 Million Man set at one point.
Interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, they were talking about that, and they were talking about like, oh, they had done Bigfoots. Ha ha ha! Isn't that funny? And then Vince comes out and he's like, by the way, that Bigfoot played by Andre the Giant. And I just wanted to see if I put that out there. And of course, Sean knows the answer.
Of course I know. Of course I know. But the Vision, he is phasing out of Hulk Hogan.
Well, so here it also looks like the way it's drawn. I know he's phasing out of it, but it also kind of looks like Hank Pym is laying on the sand and the tide is coming in. And the Vision
Well, it's true, because the phasing looks
it looks like water.
It looks like water.
And the Vision is just standing on Hank Pym, who is also underwater.
Yeah. Or in the tide. Yeah, he's on the beach.
Yeah, he's on the beach.
It's a beach phase.
Yeah, but he's phasing out, and everybody's unhappy, and that's how it goes.
So basically what's going on in this series is that Vision's been acting weird because he's an android and technology, tying into our whole Tom Brady thing.
Yeah.
But
oh shit, is this about Tom Brady?
Yes, this is how it starts.
Is this
Brady begins.
Is Tom Brady going to lose his mind when he realizes he's an android?
Let's hope so. He just keeps throwing footballs out of the stadium constantly, and they're like every time it's like he's just like throw, and then Bill Belichick's like but for somehow the Patriots still win. Because they're like, oh, well, if you throw it out of the stadium, that's like 100 points. That's a rule that that's a rule that it's in the back somewhere in the NFL rule book.
Is it going to be like in Stepford Wives where Faith Hill malfunctions? Remember? She spins around, and so Tom Brady's just going to be like, football.
Oh, yeah.
But as he's doing that, he's just scoring touchdown after touchdown. Even though he's not throwing it to anybody, they're like, well, if you throw the football and it lands in the end zone, then you win.
Well, here's the thing that happens.
It becomes like the golden snitch in Harry Potter.
Well, also what happens, too, is as an android, footballs come out of his mouth.
So he's like Birdo?
Yeah. Oh, that's how, yeah. Let's get ready. When Tom Brady, look, guys, we're calling it right now. When
Tom Brady is Birdo.
When the Tom Brady android malfunctions, the footballs will come out of his mouth like Birdo. And that is why, and we need an Italian plumber, or just an Italian in general, to save us at that point.
Don't worry, you're in Boston. There's plenty of us up there.
Okay, great. The North End will come and jump on Tom Brady and steal his magic crystal, which is probably glowing in his pants, because in that movie Ted, they grab his cum.
Yeah.
Don't you remember that, the commercial?
Do I remember
the Ted 2, where they're like, we have to like...
No, dude, we didn't see Ted 2.
We saw Ted 1. We saw Ted 2.
Yeah, because Ted 1 was so bad, I refused to see Ted 2.
Yeah, but there's something where like Mark Wahlberg and like Ted, the bear have to like get semen from Tom Brady, and they're looking under the sheet, and his balls, like you just see it glowing. We've never seen that movie. Maybe
you know what? I don't remember that. I don't ever want to see that. Because I feel like that would scar me.
Oh, you've been yelling. You've been yelling at the. I mean, that's a yell-worthy movie.
Well, yeah.
Those movies are dumb.
Oh, those movies are terrible. So anyway, we start, and we've got this woman, Laura
Lipton, I think her name is.
And she is wearing a beret.
Oh, and
because it's the 90s.
It is the 90s, and I want to point out, when you look her up in the Marvel Wiki.
Oh God. Is it just a picture of like Lipton soup?
Stars and chicken. No, it's a picture of her, and it just says Laura Lipton was a woman that wore a hat, and that's her.
Are you kidding?
I'm not kidding.
That's amazing.
That's a really good description, because that's literally, she's just a what? Basically,
she's a woman who was wearing a hat. She's wearing a beret because it is the 90s.
It is the 90s. She's hanging out with Triple H and DX wearing a beret.
And so many white women wore berets in the 90s.
So
it was a thing.
For some reason, so she's a widow.
She's a widow because her husband is dead. That's how you become a widow. So she is like living on a beach house, and her friends are like, "Hey, you need to go out because like your husband died over a year ago. You need to just like get out of the house. We're worried about you." So she goes out of the house. I guess she didn't like it, and then she came back. So now she is alone in the house again, being sad. And Vision shows up.
So Vision shows up, and the reason why he's connected to her is because apparently, so this is Vision's second body.
Yeah.
He had a body, and I'm trying to think. Man,
that'd be so much easier than going to the gym.
Just get a new body.
Just get a new body. Just be like, I want that one. Like Tom Brady is going to do.
Yeah. So trying to think why it happened, but basically like his original android body got fucked up and they had to put it back together and he wasn't the same. And then something they had to give him a new body. And now, the original Tom Brady, the original Vision's brain patterns are based off of Simon Williams, Wonder Man. But this one, I believe, has some sort of brain pattern business going on of this dead cop who was her husband.
Yeah, Alex something.
Alex Lipton. So she's like, so he's there. And he's now, since his mind is going all fucking haywire. Yeah. He's like, hey, I'm your husband.
But he is, and she's like, what the fuck is going on? And he's like, no, it's me. And she's like, stop it.
Yeah, stop it. Because she knows this.
Yeah, she knows. And he's like losing his mind. She's like, you're not supposed to be here. Obviously, you're not my husband. And then who shows up but Giant Man. And this is my favorite introduction. It says he, Hank Pym, called Giant Man. She is simply Crystal. That's it. It's just Crystal.
It's Crystal.
And don't worry, we're rocking those weird 90s thigh bones that are humongously large like weird hips.
Crystal, I
don't even know what Crystal does.
Crystal's an Inhuman. Crystal was also.
Well, apparently that movie is out or something.
With Inhumans?
Apparently.
I don't know. I thought they put it out in like a ABC series or something. I don't know. Whatever.
No, I feel like I'm gonna look it up.
No, so she's an Inhuman. Part of, I think she's like Medusa's sister. So basically, she's been a part of the Marvel mythos for a very long time. And she's got like elemental powers and stuff like that. And also at one point she was married to Quicksilver, which is surprising because he, would probably much rather be married to Wanda, his own sister. But Crystal, yeah.
Oh no, it was supposed to be released.
Yeah, but they actually didn't.
It's a TV show now.
There was okay. This is what I remember.
Okay, but it was supposed to come out, I guess, on Friday. And
really?
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. The whole thing is that I believe didn't they air it like specifically in like Fathom theaters or something? And it was really bad.
This is why it says Marvel fans fondly remember Inhumans movie on its original release date, and it became a TV series, an IMAX feature.
Right. Yeah.
It was supposed to be released today, but it never was.
In 2018?
Yeah.
Huh.
This was just went up 11/2/2018.
Okay, interesting.
And so people were like, "Oh, we were really looking forward to it, but it just never happened." Blah blah blah.
Yeah, well, yeah, I've heard it's really bad too, and I don't even know if she was involved in it.
Yeah,
I mean, I know that there was a Black Bolt business because it was associated with the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show too, I believe.
Yeah,
like in that kind of. I mean, it's a part of like the MCU, but it's not. They haven't gotten quite to it yet. But but so they're here, so they show up because Vision is wilding out, and there's a lot of like panels of Crystal.
Oh yeah, she's definitely boob butt pose.
There's a lot. Yeah, it's like you'd think this is like a Gen 13 comic for crying out loud.
Yeah,
she's just posing like all hell.
And not only that, but like it does not even. The way she's drawn doesn't even make any fucking sense.
Right.
Because like she's drawn one way, and then the next one, it's like she's got all this hair.
Yeah.
So much fucking hair. And the next thing, like, we just see her from the back for no fucking reason. And then, like, all her hair is, like, to the front so you can also see her back. But she's also basically folded in half.
Yeah, because, like, her waist is, like, arched one way. And then, like, how's her hair just, like, all of a sudden going...
That's the thing. I'm like,
is it the wind or something?
I don't even
know. I think they're on, like, Montauk, so I think it's, like...
Yeah, so maybe, sure.
It's, like, the... New York Beach or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But they're there and then like, hey, Vision. And Vision like kind of doesn't recognize them at first because he still thinks he's Alex.
Well, he's also got this hole in his head, or he's got like this something happened.
It looks like a bullet hole, actually.
Something happened with this other it gets confusing because there's we'll talk about it, but there's like these other versions of Vision that from different timelines. and so basically Vision for some reason thinks that this is Wanda. This is Scarlet Witch.
Because at first, here's the thing. At first, he's like, hi, I'm Alex. You're my wife, Linda, wearing a beret and a trench coat, like you're going to flash people. And then all of a sudden, he's like, no, this is my wife, Wanda. Yeah. So he's getting it confused because he doesn't really know what's happening. So he doesn't, and he's like, but you know me, I'm Hank Pym. You know me, I'm Crystal, whatever. So Vision now he's starting to get pissed.
Yeah, and then we get, for some reason, we get this weird butt shot of Iron Man.
Like
Giant Man. Like there's
a lot of like weird butt shots, but also a lot of weird. Somebody took a lot of time to draw these butts, but then place speech bubbles over them.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's in this that panel we just talked about for Crystal, like. They're placing panels just enough so you don't get full butt.
Right, and they did the exact same
speech bubbles and stuff. And like,
so like you kind of see her ass, but then you've got a lot of speech bubbles, and it's the exact same thing with him. It's like here's some cheek, but then there's some speech bubble.
Yeah, it's really it's
weird.
Also, it also is what's strange about it to me is that you kind of. I mean, granted, it's 95, so we're
all bets are off.
We're prime butt.
Oh, 100% prime. 1995 prime butt year.
Prime ass. Well, I mean, 1995. I mean, shit. That's when Showgirls came out.
It sure. Oh man, is that a sleazy movie?
Yeah, Showgirls came out, so we're prime. That was the year of prime butt.
Yeah.
Between this comic and Showgirls. So, but yeah, so Giant Man's like, okay, let me get this girl out of here. You're unstable. And so Vision's like, he starts sunning Hank. He's like, yeah, you've never been the foster boy for mental health because, Hank Pym went crazy at one point and beat up his wife and lost his goddamn mind.
Right.
So.
Also, he's only wearing like his outfit's really fucking weird and he's wearing gloves and.
Yeah, now he's got this.
Giant Man just looks weird.
I will say though, it's nice to see him in
Giant Man.
Oh man, he's big.
Look at his eyebrow. Look at that. That eyebrow needs to be cut.
Oh man,
it is Martin Scorsese eyebrows. That's unacceptable. Trim that shit.
Martin Scorsese directs Hulk Hogan as Giant Man.
Keep that shit just nice. Just trim it. I'm not asking for you to have perfect fucking eyebrows. I'm just asking for your hair not to be coming over the top of your fucking glasses or into your. Ugh. Sorry, unkempt eyebrows are like a pet peeve for me.
I've noticed.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
But I actually do want to say, though, I do appreciate him actually wearing a superhero outfit because before he was just wearing like a red jumpsuit.
That doesn't help.
So I didn't make. Yeah, but now he looks like he's got like this. He got gloves and everything. So.
Yeah. Oh, so then he like shoots him with a gun. I guess it's supposed to like knock him out a little bit. And
it looks like he's shooting plasma tennis balls at him. Though.
It does. So he kind of gets knocked out for a minute. They talk to this woman.
Like lotto balls. Anyways.
Yeah. Everybody's wearing gloves.
This is the glove. This is the glove issue.
What's happening? Everybody's in glove, and then so like Hank puts a thing up to his. It looks like a little gray box.
Looks like an RF transmitter. For your SNES.
That he's like trying to figure out like what's going on. And he's like there's some sort of virus in his head, and it's like stripping away his memory files.
Yeah.
So he says like Vision is literally losing his mind.
And so.
So then we cut to a shaft.
Literally a shaft.
Like an elevator shaft, it looks like, I guess.
Just a shaft.
And
it's a shaft, but some sort of prison or some sort of containment unit.
And somebody is singing "Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen," but only that verse. And then we find out it's Ultron who is being held with Deathcry and what is her name?
Jocasta.
Okay. So they're being held.
Right. And so
And Ultron is also kind of losing it because he thinks he's an old man.
Yeah. Well, in the previous issues of this miniseries, Ultron actually is like, he's in a New Orleans bar drinking beer. but he's just dressed in like a trench coat.
Which he's wearing here.
And he's got a hat.
Oh, he does not have a hat in this one.
Yeah, but he's got like a little like old man hat and he's drinking beer and he's like, you ever see a man drinking beer before? And it's like, because there's something obviously with this other Vision clone that we're about to be introduced to.
Yeah.
That has to do with, because Vision. Okay, so Ultron created Vision.
Yes.
In the Marvel continuity, in the comics, Ultron created Vision.
Okay.
And Vision turned face, and that's how that happened.
Okay.
But Ultron did create Jocasta.
Okay.
To be his bride.
Okay.
And something's going on with her because in the previous issues, something happens where Vision's, got these problems. He thinks he's like a detective.
Right.
Like a detective. He's like Simon Williams, I'm a detective, and Jocasta shows up and they're like she's like her secretary, which is why she's wearing like a purple robe, like a purple like.
Well, there's a mention of it later.
She's wearing like tights, but she's a robot.
Yeah, there's a mention of it later that like the we'll talk about it when we get there, but she's like been inspired by like old noir films.
Yeah, something was like the guy was watching a bunch of like old timey like fucking Casablanca movies,
right?
And he was like,
and
"All
it's
right,
like here's the dame who comes into the office."
Yeah,
and this is basically where it comes from.
And then so Deathcry too. Deathcry's an Avenger.
Okay,
but she's her gimmick is that she's a Shi'ar warrior of some sort. So the Shi'ar is like one of these alien races that fucked around with the X-Men. But yeah, she's got like this. Well, the Shi'ar are kind of based on birds, but she kind of looks like a cat.
Yeah,
it's weird. You know, it's weird.
She's kind of got that like Wolverine like hair thing going on.
Yeah, she got
she got some tattoos on her face, and she's purple.
Yeah, she's purple, and she's also like she's young, so she's very
well. Not only that, but
insolent.
Man, she has a very egregious boobs butt pose later in this.
Oh, there's a lot of that in here.
Yeah, but there's one of them where you're just like, she should be dead. Because, like...
Well, she's a bird. She has pliable bones.
Sure.
So they're like, all right, you know, she's like, you know, because what's his face? She throws a pill. For some reason, she's the one that has a pillow. Deathcry is like, what the fuck? You know, stop singing. And she throws a pillow at him. And he's like, I'm an old man. And she's like, you're not an old man. You're robots. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And then she's like, worse yet, this android, whatever, he's responsible for your singing, and he's like, if a man's got to sing, he's got to sing.
Yeah, they're just all fucking like snipping at each other, basically.
They're all snipping at each other, and you know, at one point
because they're all just being held and they're annoyed with each other.
Deathcry's got a thing for Vision.
Okay,
that's, you know, she's kind of like, you know, because she's, you know, the kid Avenger, but she's got a thing for Vision. You know, Jocasta's like, oh, you've got puppy love for him. And she's like, I don't know why a dog, canine would have anything to do with me, you know, with this stuff. And then she calls Jocasta a scroll pleasure maid, which I kind of enjoyed.
Yeah. And she's like, wait, what's a scroll? And she's
like, Jocasta's like, I don't know what a scroll is. You know, so they're all fighting. And then in comes I
don't even know what's going on here. It's just, it's like silly putty.
So this guy, I'm just going to call him Alternate Vision.
Yeah, okay. Look at his crotch. What is going on?
So basically he looks like a white... He's a bit... Okay, so there was this whole shit going on with this... God, I can't remember because I wasn't really reading, but I've read snips and pieces. There's this villain called Proctor that was in the Avengers comics, and... something where he
looks like Parasite.
Yeah, it's a good call. And he brought back this Vision from another timeline, and he wanted him, you know, he wanted this Vision to take over the current Vision.
Yeah, whatever. So he looks like
and he's got
Parasite.
So he looks like Parasite, and then he's got this Tabula Rasa or something.
Who looks like Silly Putty.
Yeah, it was a Silly Putty guy.
They're gross.
You know, and
both of them are gross.
And he shows up, and he's like, what the fuck? I've got you, so I can get Vision to come here,
right?
And I'll kill
because
you.
I need his body or something.
Yeah.
And then we have we cut to I think what's going on in Vision's head. It is.
We're back. This is the thing. We're back at.
But Wonder Man's dead.
That's not Wonder. I'm just explaining.
Okay.
So now we're back at the whole thing at the beach house.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's going on.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. This is all he's seeing this stuff, and then he comes back to reality because what he sees is Wanda.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah, this is all in his head. So he sees Wanda, and then he sees himself as
Wanda, or is this the girl?
He thinks it's Wanda.
Okay.
And so he sees Wanda, and then he is...
Wanda's just wearing regular-ass jeans.
Yeah,
but I was confused because I was like, she doesn't look like she's wearing her outfit.
No, but he's basically Wonder Man, but in, jeans. And they're, going to reach out to each other or whatever. And that's when he was like, oh, that's right. This is not my first body. I had one to begin with that was based off the brainwaves of Wonder Man, and then you see Wonder Man.
Yeah, so this is where we kind of get the explanation where it's like he was originally Wonder Man's patterns, and then his second body, the original was absconded with from a vision from another dimension.
Right.
So it was the other dude.
And then I was also Alex whatever, and I was a detective, and then all of a sudden now he sees Crystal. He's like, oh wait, no, it's Crystal who's reaching out to me, not Wanda. So now we get back to what's going on where Vision has woken up and they're fighting again.
They're fighting.
So she throws like sand in his face.
She just literally takes like a hunk of sand.
Just literally just what?
Just literally, the Avengers are fighting amongst each other, and they're just throwing sand at each other. This is what's going on.
They're little kids on the fucking beach.
This is something that I feel like would even happen in a Marvel movie.
Yeah, basically,
Captain America is on a beach and like
no, it wouldn't be Captain America. It would be fucking Star-Lord and Iron Man just throwing handfuls of sand at each other until fucking Cap comes and goes, knock it off,
and they throw sand at him,
and he's like, put out an eye.
And then the rest of the movie is just...
Because he's a stodgy old grandpa.
And then the rest of the movie is just everybody throwing sand at each other.
I could definitely see Star-Lord...
Infinity War Part 2.
I could definitely see Star-Lord being immature enough to throw fucking sand.
Oh, he's a sausage.
He is.
He ruined it. They almost had Thanos, and he fucking ruined it.
I know.
Fuck him.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy.
Again. Fuck that blank podcast.
So...
and she's like, I'm the only one who can really defeat you, and he's like, whatever...
Yeah, because Crystal's got like elemental powers, so she can really do some damage. I don't really know with regard to Crystal. I've never really read many books with her. I mean, I've not really followed her that much, but I've never really read anything with her in it where she's like fucked up people's Christmas, because she's so powerful.
Fucked up people's Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, just like she's so she's really good at.
That's funny.
Yeah, so she's really she's a really powerful being, but I've never seen it where she's a part of teams and shit. Like she's been a part of the Avengers.
Oh, sure.
Different things that I've never been like, oh man, she's the difference maker. We're jumping back and forth between a lot of things here.
Yeah, and it's very annoying.
And then all of a sudden, for some reason, we're back with the prisoners and alternate vision and Tabula Rasa or whatever, and Tabula turns into this thing that
I was very kind of confused on who was turning into what, but I guess it is Silly Putty Man.
Silly Putty Man turns into
Dylon Sir.
It's one of the 5 hottest rappers.
Yeah,
Dylon. But yeah, so she turns into like this Shi'ar. There's a Kree warrior that tortured. Death Cry
almost to death, and she's like, oh my god, it's you. And then like he starts like wrapping her up in his silly putty strings, and this is where her whole body is just like and she should be dead.
She should be dead
because literally her ass is almost touching her upper back.
It's true. Actually, it is true. It looks like her shoulder blade is touching her ass.
It's touching her ass. So she should probably be dead unless she is like, I don't know, like has been training to be an acrobat.
I'm telling you, this
like
is
one of those people who fits in a box.
Fucking Fairchild Gen 13 shit.
It's really fucked up.
But yeah, so basically, this alternate vision's like
he just basically wants to fuck these people up, and he wants Vision because he wants his body, whatever.
Yeah, he wants his body because now I look at the parasite and
I'm not down with it.
It sucks ass.
It sucks. So then we're back. Again, a lot of
we're
jumping
on Long
around.
Island, by the way.
Yeah, a lot of jumping around in this book, which I don't appreciate. I kind of wish we would stay
in one space.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't mind going back and forth, but give me a couple of pages. I hate that one page this, one page that, one page this, one page that. I don't like that in a comic book, so I'm not happy about it. So we're back, and it's like Vision,
Vision looks awesome here, by the way.
He does. He looks great. And he's like, look, Hank Pym's talking to him, and he's like, look, I know this is hard, but, I want to help you. And Vision is like, fuck your house, basically.
Yeah.
And zaps him with his head gem. And then...
So Vision, Hank is giant.
Yes.
And he gets knocked down on the beach, and then
Vision, like, literally just, like...
phases through him.
Phases through his stomach, which is disgusting.
It is disgusting, and apparently it hurts a lot.
Yeah.
Because Vision... I've seen him do that to, like, a lot of people.
Yeah, it's kind of gross.
Sometimes it doesn't really bother me, but this one's actually really uncomfortable because he's just like Hank is big and he's
jumping on him like a trampoline.
He's basically jumping through him like a trampoline that broke.
Yeah, it's really gross.
And it's going through, and Hank, we don't really see how.
Yeah, it's kind of drawn in like a silhouette type of style, so you don't like see him going into his chest, but it's still upsetting.
Crystal's like, God damn it, he's one of your buddies, and he's like. Actually, I do like a Vision here. He's like, I'm a robot. I have no friends. Robots have no friends.
No. And then so he like phases into the ground and then he comes up through it and like just knocks Crystal's ass like right backward.
Yeah.
Which another boobs butt pose. Look at that.
Oh, this right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, her back. Yeah, she's trying the old death cry here.
Yeah, because you can see her ass and her tits.
Yeah.
Like,
very important.
But don't worry, she's wearing a thong. So just in case. So then.
Which is not wearing a.
That is a thong.
Well, that's just had the pattern on her outfit.
It's a thong.
Well, I mean, it looks like
it's like an Oscar thong.
It's like an Oscar thong.
It's like an Oscar thong where it's just like a thong over shorts. And you're like, what the fuck is happening? He's like flying around and I don't know, what does she say here?
Well, she's like, look, I could really fuck up your Christmas. And he's like, look, I don't deserve this body. It's not mine. I need to go back and give it to the person that I hear the person calling me. So I need to go back and give it to him. They're like,
and
what?
She's like, oh, and she kind of understands like for a minute.
Right.
And then so we're back with
Silly Putty Man squeezing death crying and said like, oh, we gotta get out of here. And he's like, we're supposed to escape before they get mad. And Death Cry's like, listen, if you don't want to go, I'm going alone because the creeps want Vision and I'm going to go save him. Mm-hmm. And then off screen, who kicks Ultron here? Somebody kicks him in the face. I don't know who that is.
Oh, I don't know.
Somebody's Death Cry, maybe?
Sure, maybe.
She kicks him in the face for some reason. And then off screen you hear it's like, I'm too afraid it's too late for that Death Cry because Vision shows up and he's like, you see, they already have me, body and soul. Oh. And that's how this ends.
Oh, no.
Because it's like, he's come back to deal with
Parasite guy.
Parasite and probably...
It just looks like he'd be dumped in pink paint.
Yeah, it's a pretty weird looking... I think there was a fire. I think that's why it is.
Oh,
like he was burned. But
so it's Freddy.
But you think he would just... Yeah, he looks like... Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
he looks like Freddy.
He's pretty much Freddy Krueger. The Freddy Krueger... If Vision was Freddy Krueger, that's what you get here. But yeah, so that's how this ends. No letters page because it's just a miniseries, so we don't have anything to discuss on that end. But do you want to see how this ends?
I didn't mind it. The only thing I really didn't like was the back and forth. So I wouldn't mind reading it, but it's not on my, the top of my list, you know?
Right.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I've already read it, so I know how this ends. Yep. And
everything is everything is fine.
No, not really.
Nothing is fine.
Nothing is fine. Vision leaves the Avengers, and he goes to find himself because he's got all these things going on in his head.
Sure.
And for some reason, he takes Jocasta and Ultron with him. And
well, they're robots. They have to figure out what's going on.
Yeah,
all of them are kind of suffering from this weird virus where they're not themselves.
It's a robot journey of discovery. They should all just get in the car and just drive through the desert and take some ayahuasca.
I think that's probably what they do.
Oh, yeah. See, that would be issue 5.
Yeah, that's what happens in 5, but there was no issue 5. So.
Bummer.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But that's Vision number 3 from January 1995. That's it for this week's show. Thanks for listening, folks. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram. I'm at Angry Hero Sean, SHAWN, that's how you spell Sean.
And I'm at Jen Stansfield on Twitter and Instagram. You can find us on Facebook, Worst Collection Ever. You can also email the show, worstcollectionever@gmail.com.
And, of course, please leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever it is that you get this show. We would really appreciate it. And tell a friend.
Yeah.
Tell a friend about some of the comic buffoonery or just general buffoonery here on the show. We really do appreciate you guys listening. I do want to point out real quick, because it happened a few weeks back probably. It's hard to kind of keep track because of the way our back end is set up sometimes. We've done over 200 episodes of this show.
Oh, my God.
Which is...
a fuck ton.
A lot of episodes for a weekly podcast.
Yeah.
That comes out weekly. And we really appreciate everybody sticking with us.
Yes, thank you.
We have some people that are very loyal to the show, and we appreciate you. And and for all you new people that are discovering the show, we really appreciate that too. And hopefully you guys will stick around. And that's awesome. I mean, that's 200 episodes. That's like 4 years of podcasting.
Oh my God, we've been doing this for a while.
I think we actually did start in the end of 2013.
I think we did, yeah.
And we've been going. Maybe it was the end of 2014 because I think it was. We weren't doing this when I was sick.
Maybe not.
So I'm trying to think back then, but yeah, I think it was end of 2014. So yeah, we're 4 years. It's a long time to do a podcast.
Yes, it is.
And we couldn't have done it without all you folks out here that listen. So that really, really, really appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Bye.